part 2 of this 6-part yoga series. A big shout out to all the students and staff at Carmel College, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this video. I hope you enjoyed part 1, and this week we are going to be twisting. It's the spring equinox, so it was the spring equinox at the weekend, so we are into spring now. And twisting from our belly button, which is where all our twists come from, it generates fire. It gives us the motivation and the energy which so many of us need at the moment. I just heard on the radio coming here that 50% of people in Liverpool are tired. I am one of those, hands up to that. So twists will definitely leave you feeling energized. You may not feel like it at the moment, but I promise you, you will have more energy at the end of this than you do now. If you don't, get in touch and let me know. Equipment wise, just your mats, or you can just bring any floor, no socks if possible, just for safety, to stop us slipping and to ground ourselves into the floor and really allow our feet and toes to spread out. I always have blocks and a soft block near my mat. You don't need those, just a cushion is fine if you've got bad knees and you need to kneel down on something, or you're a little bit stiff and you need to bring the floor up towards you when we're in some of the poses. But otherwise, you shouldn't need anything for this class. As always, don't do anything that hurts. I don't know how you're feeling, and there'll be poses that I do that hurt me that may not hurt you. So please, please listen to your bodies, moving away from pain. It's not about how long you can hold something. It's about what feels right for you today, which may well be different to yesterday and will be different to tomorrow. So please listen to what your bodies are telling you. We're going to start in a seated position today. So cross-legged, or if that's not comfortable, just taking the feet out. Whatever feels good for you, as long as you can really feel the ground beneath you. And as you push your bottom down, imagine that it's giving you the lift through your ribs without arching your back. So let's see how that feels. Hands wherever feels good. And just start breathing. You can close the eyes down if you want. And just notice. Don't judge how you feel. Just notice where your breath is. The sound of it. Where is it inflating in your body? And if you can, try and keep your focus on your breath and don't let your mind wander, which is easier said than done, I know. If thoughts come in, just bring your mind back to what you can feel, the sound of my voice. Maybe your eyelids touching each other, maybe where your fingertips are touching. Anything to bring you out of your mind and into your body. That is meditation. And we're just going to release our shoulders a little bit now. And to do that, we're going to inhale and we're going to squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears as tight as you can. But on the exhale, we're going to force the air out and let the shoulders drop. So it'll look like this. Give it a go. And I want all of the wobbly bits to be wobbling. This isn't something that we do with caution. We let it go. The bellies, the bingo wings, the boobs, whatever else is wobbling. Sorry men, I'm not going to say the B word for you guys. And just inhale, squeeze, and let it go. And really let it go. And that's going to do so much good for stress and tension around the neck and shoulders. A couple more. Really letting them drop with gravity. And then just relax. And then taking your right hand, placing it on the floor, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take a twist here. So left hand comes to the right knee, but I want you to keep the chin in the centre of the chest, because we're always tempted with a twist to lead with our head. And all you're doing is twisting the smallest, most delicate part of your spine. So we're going to twist with our shoulders. So we keep the chin in the middle, left hand on the right knee, and then start twisting the shoulders. And you may well feel some nice cracks in a good way. Once your shoulders have twisted as far as they can, then you can look over and take your head to the right. As long as your neck is okay, keep lengthening tall Lifting the head to the ceiling, breathing into the belly. We want to hold our breath here because it's really hard to inflate our lungs, but really try. And then slowly bringing it back to centre. Changing the cross on the legs. If they were crossed, if they're not, just leave them out in front of you, left hand down, lengthen through the body, which means lifting the chest away from the groin, so we're not slouching. Right hand to the left knee, chin stays in the centre, and twist those shoulders. That way you're getting a really nice thoracic twist, which is the upper middle back, as well as the lumbar, right down the bottom. And then lastly, you can twist your neck by gazing over the left shoulder, if that feels good. But we really want this to be feeling around the mid-back way. We do that by twisting our shoulders and breathing. One more. And bring it back to centre. Okay, we're going to take our legs out in front of us now. I'm going to work with our hip flexors. I'm smiling, and you'll see why I'm smiling with gritted teeth. If you've never done hip flexor work, you are in for a treat. Tend to get neglected, our lovely hip flexors, but they're so good for balance. Big, big, big ligaments that come all the way up the muscles, so you'll soon feel them. Now, the key to working the hip flexors is to keep the chest lifted. And even just sat here, did this last week in Dandasana, even just sat here like this, I can feel my back working and my core working. If you lean back, and then I ask you to lift your left leg, you may well be able to get it quite high. But if you lift your chest and then try lifting your left leg, that's it. That's all I can do. That's what we need to do to work the hip flexors. So, fingertips on the floor, you can round the shoulders a little. And you can cheat by rounding the back. But if you really want to get this working, you're lifting the chest. And what we're going to do is just single leg raises. So we inhale, exhale, lift. And alternate. And it's really tempting to lean back because our body wants to take the path of least resistance, but try and keep the chest lifted. Don't allow your body to move and lift, and you may feel like it's cramping because these lovely big quadricep muscles are working harder than they're used to, unless you do lots of weights and things on your quads. Keep going, 2 more. And you can rest or you can lift. Take the left leg out, centre and lower. Right leg up, out, centre and lower. And lift, out, centre. Just when you think it's finishing, we add a level. If this is too much, you can go back to the first stage. You can sit it out. Keep the chest lifted. 1 more each side. Oh, okay. Give it a shake. Do what you need to do. Are you ready for the next phase? You can do the singles, you can do the lift, out, back and lower, or really getting those fingertips in the ground, really lifting the chest. Let's go for it. Double lift. Ooh. 4, 3, 2, and hold. Flutter. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, that'll do. And do whatever you need to do to stretch out those quads. If you're not used to doing that, it may well have felt like they were going to cramp. So a good roll if you need to. You can see why I gave a smile with gritted teeth now. Let's come over onto our hands and knees for our cat-cows. We do this at the start of most classes because it's so good for your back. Just simple spinal flexions and extensions. So knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders, leading with your bottom, tucking it under, round in the back, let the head go. Lift the bum into the air, the belly will drop, gently lift the chest, don't squeeze the back of the neck, and the other way. Tuck the tail, round the spine, let the head go, and lift the tail, drop the belly. Keep the arms nice and strong, keep going. 1 move per breath. Inhale or exhale, on either move, it's up to you. Last one. And coming to a neutral spine, which means our bum isn't lifted and it isn't tucked, it's just somewhere in the middle. Watch that your elbows aren't coming out here. As we get tired, we want to bend the arms and flay the elbows out, but we need to try and keep them coming together if we can. Okay. From here, we're going to take your left leg back. Really nice and straight and strong, if that feels okay. And notice what your arms are doing. Keep them nice and strong, your gaze down, your tummy's in, and now see if you can just tuck your bum under a little. Because I'm going to ask you, if you've got the balance, to put your right hand on your hip. Push the ground away with the left hand. This is going to be our first twist. Really send the heel of the left leg back, and maybe you can start to gaze over your right shoulder, opening your right armpit to the ceiling, and see how that feels. Keeping the bum tucked under here. Keep our back safe. If that's okay, maybe you can release your hand up or over, but keeping the chest open. We aren't dropping our face down here. We're opening into a twist. And if that feels okay, maybe you can lift your left leg off the floor. Flex the toes towards the floor, like you're kicking the wall behind you with your heel. Tummy's in, bum tucked under, and breathe. Twisting as much as you can. And bring it back to center. Take the knees wide, feet together, and just sit the bum back in a child's pose. You can put a cushion under your head, you can just rest down here. And as you take big breaths, really feel the upper back ribs expanding out to the side. And that's enough rest, I think. Let's come back up. If you want to stay there, please feel free. Let's try that on the other side. Right leg goes back this time. Tuck the bum under, keep the belly in. If we let it go, this is what causes little pinches and strains in the vulnerable joints. So keep the bum tucked under. Gaze is down, and maybe you can lift the left hand to the waist. Notice how active you are, how much you're pushing that floor away with the right hand. And then opening that left shoulder to the ceiling. Taking that twist. As I twist, I push my right heel to the back of the room. I push the floor away from me with the right hand, and maybe the left arm can come over. Keeping the bum tucking under, and maybe lifting the right leg off. Oh, that side's harder. Ooh, breathe. This is tough. Creating as much space as you can. Keep pushing the floor away. Big belly breaths. And bringing it down. Staying on your hands and knees this time. You can take it into child's pose if you need. Otherwise, we're going to come up into our downward dog. So tucking the tails, lifting the bum into the air. I meant tucking the toes. And then push the weight right back into your downward dog. And maybe bending one knee, straightening the other leg, and the other way. We call this walking a dog, just wiggling the bum. Finding stillness when you can. Straight or bent legs, whatever feels good for you. Lifting the bum to the sky. Sending the heels to the floor. And really inflating those bellies. If you would like the challenge of a twist here, you're going to take your left hand to your right ankle. So inhale. Exhale, twist, gaze under your right armpit. Inhale back. Exhale the other way. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Bend the knees, sit the bum back. And exhale, step yourselves to the front of your mat. Slight bend in the knees, just so you can let the belly make contact with the thighs. Hold on to the elbows, let your heads go. And enjoy some big breaths here. Okie dokie. Let's place your your right hand onto the floor or onto a block or cushion if you need. You can bend your knees as much as you need and see how it feels to start to lift your left hand into the air. If you do this with straight legs, it's a lot harder. Get the shoulders twisting like we did in that seated twist. Inhale. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, twist the other way. And exhale down. One more each side. See if the weight can come forward into the toes slightly. Inhale. And exhale, twist. Inhale, halfway lift, where we take the hands onto the shins, lift the bum, lift the chest. And just let it go. Push into the feet, tighten the bum, bring the hips forward as you take a big rise up, stretch. And hands to the heart. Okay, let's just do a couple of rounds of our sun salutations and then we'll get onto a standing sequence. So coming to the front of your mats and let's flow. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, swan dive through straight or bent legs. Let the head go. Hands on the thighs. Lift the bum, lift the chest. Inhale. And as you exhale, hands down, we'll step back in this first plank. Drop your knees and we'll take our first chaturanga, which means we keep the elbows in, the elbows stay over the wrists and we come down. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest and then push back, down dog. 2 breaths here. As you inhale, bend the knees, sit the bum back, gazes forward, and you can step or jump to your hands. Let the head go as you straighten the legs. Hands onto the thighs, lift the bum, lift the chest, and then let it go. Push into the feet, tighten your glutes, tummies in. Rise up, and hands to the heart. I'm just going to take it up a level if you wish. If you don't, you flow as we did with knees down and taking our little chaturangas and our little back bends. If you want it more intense, you can join me with this round. Inhale, exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift, lift the bum, lift the chest. And jump back if you wish into a plank, straight down into your tricep presser. You can drop all the way to the floor or keeping the knees up, straight in the arms. Upward dog, and we're holding this for a minute. Not literally a minute, although it might be if I keep talking. So you can be here, or you can have the belly down and the shoulders back. Just don't squish the back of your neck. Wherever you are, if it's comfortable, twist to your left. Gaze over your left shoulder, centre. Twist right. And centre. And twist left. Try and keep the shoulders back, away from the ears. And the other side. Oh, it's tough. And then downward dog. Well done. Big breaths. Sit the bum back, gazes forward. Step or jump. And let your head go. Lift up through the chest and the bum. And a deeper forward fold now. Push the floor away, tighten your bum as you rise up. Hands to the heart. Well done. Let's add on. Rise up. And forward fold. Bend or straight legs, let the head go. Lift the bum, lift the chest. Step or jump back into your plank. Press up. Back bend, inhale. Downward dog, exhale, well done. You're going to take a big step forward, right foot to the right hand. You can do it much more slowly and not do it in one move if it's too much. But bring in the right foot forward. And we're going to drop the left knee and flatten the top of the foot so the toenails are down. This is where you might want a cushion underneath that left knee if the floor's too hard for you. And before we rise up, we activate that lower body. So we squeeze the bum, pull the tummy in, and see how it feels to be up. Maybe we can lift the arms to the ceiling, or the hands are in at the chest. And you might find that your bum is going back. If we tuck our bums under, we get a lovely quad stretch on the front of that left leg. Or if you want to go a bit deeper, we can actually widen the lunge and then tuck the bum under. When you widen that lunge, sometimes it's really difficult to tuck under, so keep it strong. Breathe. And then taking the hands down, rooting down through that left hand. Start rolling the right shoulder back, lifting the right arm, which can stay on your waist or can come up into the air. Watch that that right knee hasn't jutted out. Keep it tracking to the centre if it's comfortable. Keep squeezing the butt. Gaze doesn't have to be up if your neck's sore, it can be down, it can be straight ahead, but watch that you haven't sunk down into that left shoulder. Push the floor away and breathe. Okay, bring your hands back down, step back plank, drop the knees if you wish, or just come into your full tricep dip. Rolling up into any back bend, downward dog. Should we try a twist here? If you wish, like we did at the start, you're going to take your right hand to your left ankle, gaze under the armpit, and bring it back. Of course, you can drop your knees at any time if this gets too much. Left hand. One more each side. Don't you love it when people say yoga is just for girls who just do little stretches? Don't have done one of my classes. Sit the bum back, inhale, and step or jump to the top of your mat, let your head go. Rise up through the bum and up through the chest, roll the shoulders back, and a deeper forward fold. Push the floor away, rise up. Hands to the heart, rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift the bum, lift the chest. One exhale now, jump or step back, plank, and dip. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, downward dog. Well done. Left foot to the left hand, dropping the right knee this time. Flattening the top of the foot, squeezing the butt under to bring you up. Widening the legs if you need that extra little bit of stretch. Tuck the bum under to stretch out the quads. They need them after that hip flexor work. Rising up if it's comfortable. And breathe. And keeping it strong. So it's like you're dragging your back knee to the front and your front foot back. That's going to activate through your pelvic floor, through your hamstring on the front leg. Well done, bring the hands down, rooting through the right hand now. Rolling the left shoulder open, hand can stay on the hip or rise up again. Watch your left knee this time hasn't jutted out to the left. Keep the knee over the ankle. Tummy's in, bums tucking under. See if you can peel your ribs away from your thigh. And breathe. Bring the hands down, step back plank. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Breathe. Sit the bum back, gazes forward. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Let your head go. Push the floor away. Lift the bum, lift the chest. Deeper fold. Rise up. And hands to the heart. Let's keep going. Rise up. And forward fold. Halfway lift the bum, lift the chest. Plank chaturanga. Getting the heat going, the energy going as you come into your back bend. Downward dog. Okay, this is a challenge. Just have a little look if you can from the downward dog or drop the knees. What you're going to do, keeping the elbows rolling towards each other as strong as you can, is drop down to your elbows. I'm laughing because I know how hard this is. And then if you can, lift back up into your downward dog. You can do this one elbow at a time, but make sure you alternate when you are ready. Let's see if we can do 5. Dropping, one at a time or both, and lifting. If you're not in a plank, you're in a downward dog, so your shoulders aren't over your wrists. They are back. 3 more. Really strong upper body work. 2 more. Last one. Can we manage a twist? Right hand to the left ankle, gaze onto the armpit. And left hand. Oh, it's tough. And right hand. And left hand. Well done if you are still with me. Right foot to the right hand. And this time, you are going to stay on the toes of the back foot. And you're going to come into a twist from here. If this is too much, drop your left knee and do the twist exactly like we just did in the last round. Otherwise, left hand comes to the floor, or cushions or something to lift the floor higher. And then back leg is super strong. Tuck the bum under and lift up through that right shoulder. Twist. And here again, check the right knee is tracking to the centre. See if you can bring the right knee back, the right hip back, the left hip forward. Peel the ribs away from the thigh, shoulders away from the ears. And breathe. Challenge, if you choose to accept, is to pull your tummy in so tight and tense up through the legs. Push the ground away, become light through the left hand. Oh, she says. It's a balance. You can do this with your left knee down. We're going to move through these poses now. Arms stay straight. Drop the left hand, lift the right arm, and come back up. You have to have your legs active, your bum active, and your belly active. 1 more. And holding with the left arm down. Challenge 2 is to step your right foot to your left, side plank. You can drop your left knee here if you wish. If you want even more of a challenge, take hold of your right foot, bring it into tree pose. Lift up, ooh, not like me. And take the arm over. Squeeze the butt cheeks. Lift, lift, lift. And plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Tough that sequence, so well done if you managed any of that. Left foot forward. Staying on the toes of the right foot. I'm going to swap sides. Okay, grounding through your right hand this time. Strong back leg. Send the back heel to the back of the room and start to lift the left arm into the air. And breathe. And maybe you can take your your left hip back and peel your ribs away from the thigh. Gaze is anywhere that feels good on your neck. And now activate through the feet. Imagine you're pushing the ground away, your tummy's in tight. You become light through the right fingertips. Keep the bum tucking under, we don't aggravate lower backs. And flow. Breathing one way, and then the other. You can always drop your right knee. And keeping the right hand down. Plank, side plank. Ooh, stepping that left foot back. You can always drop that right knee. Maybe you want to come into that tree pose. I can't breathe. And bringing the hips forward, lifting them to the sky. Oh, plank. Have we got a chaturanga in us? Oh, no. Take the shoulders back. Take any back bend that feels good. Downward dog. Let's just do this for 2 breaths here. If you're feeling energized, feel free to take your twist. Gazing under and back. Under and back. Sit the bum back, inhale, gazes forward. And step or jump to the top of your mat. Let your head go. Halfway lift the bum, lift the chest. And forward fold. Rising up. And hands to the heart. That was a tough round. I'm just going to swap sides again. And let's come into our final round. Okay. Rising up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Lift the bum, lift the chest. Plank chaturanga. Back bend. Downward dog. Let's step the right foot forward. Left heel comes down this time. Tense up through those glutes. As we rise up, warrior one. So the back leg is straight. I'm tucking my left butt cheek under. I'm pulling my core muscles in. The arms don't have to be lifted. If your shoulders have had enough, just take them down. And I'm going to swap sides for this. And then from here, opening the arms out, warrior two. You can take the legs a little wider if you wish, whatever feels good for you. And I'm going to ask you to straighten through your right leg, if it's comfortable. Some people hear a pop in their hip when they do it, not in a painful way, but if you've got any stiffness there, it may pop. And notice if your butt has started sticking out, which is normal when we straighten that front leg. Tuck it under. So we are long through the ribs, long through the body, equal through the front foot and the right foot, and the hips are square. They're not rocking backwards and forwards. And see if you can keep that tension on the left butt cheek as you reach forward with the right hand. I'm going to come into triangle, and all we do from here is flip our arms from being out to being up and down. And now you're in a triangle. You can always walk that back foot in if you need, but don't let your butt stick out if you can avoid it. You're tucking your bum under and bringing the hips forward. And you can stay there, or you can start to bring your hand closer to the floor. Gaze, again, is anywhere that feels good for you. But keep those butt cheeks switched on. Keep the hips coming forward. Now bend your front leg and bring your hand down to the floor. You can always walk your back foot in a little. Have your back toes facing forward if you can. And then straightening through the front leg again. If it's comfortable, please be careful with lower back issues and sciatica, and fold. Now comes the fun bit, the twist. It really helps to lift the floor closer to you. So again, any cushions or blocks, anything you've got underneath that left hand if you need, because you're going to plant your left hand or fingertips down and lift the right arm up this time. Twisted triangle. This is really tough. You can always take the hand on your hip, but all of this movement is from your right shoulder. It's the shoulders when we twist, not the neck, not the knees. Twist, twist, twist. It feels so compressive, but when you come out of twist, you've created so much space if you're able to breathe. Big, slow breaths. And then bringing the hands down. Bend through your front leg again. Balance challenge. Taking the weight into the right foot. Your right hand comes further forward, again on a block or a cushion if you wish. And start to lift your left foot into the air. And maybe you can lift your left arm too. Half moon. And you may well feel this in your right butt cheek, your right thigh, if you're not used to doing it. If you want the challenge, bring your left hand down, drop your left hip, and lift your left arm up. Sorry, right arm up. Twisted, half moon. Ugh. So you've got your left leg and your right arm up. Well done. Bring it down. Ooh, and place the elbows on the thighs and just do whatever feels good. I'm going to come straight onto the other side. We're not going to flow through. I'm conscious I've probably already gone over time. So this time let's take the right foot back, left foot forward. Drop the heel of that right foot. Warrior one. So hips are facing forward now. Bum is tucking under, as it is with virtually every pose. And the hands don't have to be lifted. And when you are ready, Warrior two, where we twist our hips to the long edge and open up the arms. Lift up, out of your hips, and breathe. You can gaze forward, wherever feels good for you. Okay. Let's see if we can straighten a little through that left leg. Watch that that right hip hasn't jutted out. If it has, feel your hip bones. And just see how it feels for them to be straight and how much you have to tense up through that right butt cheek to right the hips. See if you can keep them there as you just take the upper body forward. So you're not letting them fall again, just the upper body forward. And maybe you can pivot here. Keep the butt cheeks in so tight, I can't emphasize that enough, and the hips tucking under. And maybe you can drop down a little, gaze wherever feels good, triangle. Breathe, shoulders back and down. And bending through your front knee. Hands onto the floor, step the back foot in a little, toes facing forward, and if it's comfortable, straightening through that left leg and fold. And breathe. And planting now. Your right hand to the floor, fingertips, a block, whatever feels good. As you open up through that left shoulder, twisted triangle. This is hard. Try and pull the ribs away from the thigh. Try and breathe. Try and push the back heel to the floor. And dropping your right hand to the left hand, to the floor again. Weight into that right, oh goodness me, lefts and rights have gone now. Weight into the left foot. Left hand comes forward. Lift your right foot into the air. Lift the right arm. Half moon. Keep the gaze down for balance to start with. And once you're steady, then you can start to move your gaze forward. And maybe up towards your hand. Pulling your tummy in really strongly helps, and pushing your big toe into the floor helps. And then if you want the challenge, bringing your right hand down, dropping your right hip, keeping the foot up though, and lifting the left arm. This is tough on the hips, but it's a lovely twist. Breathe. And bring it down. Oh, and hands onto the thighs, wiggle, do whatever feels good, and sit yourselves down. Find well-deserved rest. Notice how your body feels after that, how your shoulders feel, your spine. Listen to your body and what you've done with the moves that you've done today, because I haven't done it for you, you're the ones that have moved. Take your feet forward. Lifting, bending, the left leg. Planting the left foot down and just taking hold of the outside of the left foot with the opposite hand. Sit up nice and tall and your left hand will come behind you. So it's like you're twisting towards your bent knee, and see how that feels. Really strong through the right leg that's down. If that feels okay, maybe you can lift your left heel off the floor and extend your left arm behind you. If your hamstrings are okay, you can straighten through that left leg, but lift through the chest. Don't let your back collapse here. The more you lift through the chest, the deeper the stretch. Neck is wherever feels good, and breathe. And bringing it back to centre. Let's swap it over. Left foot onto the outside. Oh my goodness me. Left hand to the outside of the right foot. When the lefts and rights go, that's it, they just go, can't get them back. Right hand behind you and start twisting through that right shoulder. Maybe you can lift the right foot off the floor. Maybe you can take the right arm back. Lift through the chest though. And then extend if your legs will allow. And I'm twisting my shoulders around as much as they will go. And I'm trying to fill my belly and ribs with every breath. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Well done, and bring it down. Bending the feet in. The only thing we haven't done so far is core, except this core work is hip flexors again, so you're gonna love it after those hip flexors at the start. Maybe you can hover, lifting the feet up. Maybe you can let go of the legs. If you feel okay with the chest lifted and the shoulders back, maybe you can bring the feet in line with the knees. And you're going to take your right hand straight through the left leg if you can, and tap. Centre and tap. Centre and tap. You can drop your feet in between, makes it easier, or keep your heels in line with your knees the whole time. Keep going. Twist and centre. Twist and centre. 5 more. Lift the chest. Shoulders back. Lost count. That'll do. And bringing it down. I'm sure you've probably run out of time, so we shall finish seated, just as we started. We definitely don't need to do any more twists today, but we will finish with a forward fold, just to ground ourselves back down again. So any comfortable position, and let's just start walking the hands forward to wherever feels good for you. And let your heads go. You can always support them on your wrists or on a cushion, and breathe. See if you can slow down and deepen the breath. And slowly walking yourselves up. Hands coming to the chest. Really feel the connection of the skin on each palm. Push the hands into the chest into the hands. That will create a lovely lift. And roll the shoulders back and down. I am really grateful that you have joined me today. Any feedback is always welcome.